But this situation was different. The pain never went away. I've tried all sorts of medications. Trileptal was one that I was on that kind of helped, but not really, because it had all these other unwanted side effects. And I was already on amitriptyline for my migraines and for my sleep, and that sort of helped a little, but it was never enough to stabilize my pain. So fast forward about 2 years later, I was at the peak of my pain tolerance, and I just said, you know what, I'm going to try everything. And, even if the doctors say it's dangerous, I'm willing to try everything at this point because my quality of life has went away. So for me, my neuralgia was constant digging pain. At first, it felt like a migraine, but I've noticed that it would come without any migraine side effects. So I also have migraine, as I mentioned earlier. And the horrible thing about migraines is it's not just a headache. With migraines, you get dizziness, you get vertigo, you can't think very clearly, and one of the worst symptoms is that you get so dizzy that sometimes you feel like you want to vomit, and you do vomit if it's too much. So it's not just a headache. With neuralgia, it was just constant 24/7 pain. It felt like somebody smashed a rock on the side of my head and just kept digging at it. So 2 years after diagnosis, I saw an amazing surgeon, Steve Pellet. He did superficial nerve decompression. He took a look at my MRI, and just like every other doctor, they were like, we can't see what's wrong, but if you really want to risk it, we'll do exploratory surgery. So he did exploratory surgery. He did find compression. He decompressed my auriculotemporal, which is like right here. And then he excised my zygomatic, which is right over here. It kind of runs along the upper cheek and the side here where your brow is. His report said something about like my nerves were so jumbled up. He said it was badly damaged, so it had to be excised and buried underneath muscle to disable the nerve. The auriculotemporal, he was, thank goodness, able to save it. He didn't have to excise it. He decompressed it. Again, he said there was like an artery that was basically throbbing on my nerves, and that was what was causing the constant pain. So it was a relief to hear that I wasn't crazy. There was something wrong, but because superficial nerves are so tiny, they don't show up on MRIs. They barely even show up on ultrasound. And of course, it's also on the surface rather than behind the skull. When I first got the surgery, I was in so much pain. My pain went even higher. I thought, what did I do? I messed up myself. I went for this surgery, and I'm not getting any better. But fortunately, after about a year, I did start to notice that my medications were working a little bit better. But to this day, the bad news is that even though my medications work a lot better after the surgery, it never went away. The neuralgia never went away.